Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of Izzy Cinematic Escape on YouTube. I'm your host Izzy. As per usual, anyone who is new to the channel and is found it through the YouTube search engine, hit the subscribe button below. If you happen to enjoy my work, spread the word to your friends and family. Anyone who isn't new and has been here since the beginning, thank you. This is a channel that is all about providing honest and accurate and fair and balanced analysis of films and television series from my perspective, and just in my own opinion. Today's review is based off the 2016 ensemble DC-WB film, The Suicide Squad, the comic book team that is put together by the United States government in order to complete dangerous missions that jeopardizes their existence and their lives. However, should anything happen to them, the government has plausible deniability in order to avoid any type of blowback on their end. The Suicide Squad, for anyone who followed the production from its initial inception, understands that there was a lot of creative differences, there was a lot of drama, there was a lot of confusion, and given the fact that the studio executives interfered within the creative process, presented a much different film than what we were initially expecting. David Ayers has been on record stating that the film that he originally created was far more darker, violent, and grittier compared to what we received. When you watch the trailers, you definitely see the differences in what was going to be released compared to what we received. Now, when the initial word of mouth indicated that this film was not what it needed to be as far as creatively and what critics were looking for, I believe that from my perspective, the problem is you had a lot of critics, and when I say this, I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way, but this is just something that I feel that needs to be said again. Critics had this bias of being anything that wasn't Marvel at the time. And I love Marvel. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has yielded some great results, has yielded some great entertainment with the films. But my problem with Marvel is that they have played it too safe with their films a lot of the times. When you compare Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, even Captain America, The First Avenger, those Marvel outings had a sense of darkness and had a sense of seriousness to them that ultimately didn't play it safe. You weren't exactly sure how these characters were going to make it out in the end, and because of that, there was that level of uncertainty, and that's what I don't like about Marvel now, is that Marvel has played it too safe. Marvel has presented themselves where everything in the end is so hunky dory. The only time they didn't play it safe, from my point of view, was Captain America Winter Soldier, possibly Captain America Civil War to some extent, and Infinity War. Other than that, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But DC WB has had such a great potential to be something monumentally special due to the fact that they were so thematically, visually, and cinematically different to what Marvel was doing. And the Suicide Squad, right from the beginning, already had a bad synopsis when you think about it. And this is not a spoiler, given that we hear it in the trailer. We hear this government official say, if Superman was to turn evil and fly to the White House and kidnap the President of the United States, what would we do? Well, for one, the villains that you're sending to potentially combat against them stand next to no chance. When you think about Slipknot, Killer Croc, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, they don't stand any type of physical chance against Superman. Right then and there, that very idea was just asinine to begin with. The only one who stands a chance against him out of the entire group is Enchantress. Maybe Diablo, but your real shot against Superman in this group is Enchantress, given that her power levels is based more on the supernatural and the magical elements. Okay, that's already been stated. The second bad idea that they had is that they decided to take this team and put them in a position where they're fighting against aliens, a supernatural alien threat. Suicide Squad is more about completing top secret black op missions that involves corrupt politicians, involves corrupt corporations, that involves anything that is more along the lines of real life issues. As far as we know, we're not dealing with any type of alien extraterrestrial threats just yet. God forbid. But then, not only that, the anticipation level that a lot of people had was really, for me personally, I could say, was one to see what Jared Leto was going to do with the character the Joker, because he is, in my opinion, a fantastic actor who takes his craft very seriously, and the fact that he is so committed to maintaining character. Even when he's not filming, only using a Tropic Thunder reference here, he breaks character only when he's doing the DVD commentary and when the film is completed. The fact that he was playing the Joker was what really piqued my interest, as I really wanted to see what he was going to do with the character. David Ayers, again on public record, stated that the majority of Joker scenes were cut, and Jared Leto even said that how he was disappointed with his overall performance because a lot of the images and the dialogue that we saw in the trailer didn't make the final cut of the film. But through it all, I was very curious to see Deadshot, Harley Quinn, the Joker, Enchantress, Amanda Waller, and I was really hoping for a proper representation of Killer Croc, as he's one of my favorite villains. But through it all, if you were to ask me, how do I feel about Suicide Squad as a film? Is it perfect? No. Is it one of the greatest films ever made? Absolutely not. Is it great? In my opinion, yes. Is it entertaining? Yes. Could it have been better? Yes. I just believe that a lot of it had to do with the fact that they were entering into an uphill battle because it wasn't Marvel, and a lot of fans and critics didn't want to see anything that wasn't to their liking become successful, because Marvel was ruling the cinematic universe and the box office at that point in time with their films. You actually saw the differences when you had the studio executives that interfered with the creative process, and they decided, well, we need more jokes, we need more colorful images, we need more something that will cater to the kids, we need something that's going to cater to everybody, and it just created a jumbled mess. Nowhere is this film anywhere as bad as critics and fans made it out to be. I enjoyed it for what it was. I think Will Smith did an amazing job as a Deadshot. He was very charismatic, and just how the chemistry that he has with Margaret Robbie and the rest of the actors and actresses in this film is just top notch. Margaret Robbie does an amazing job as Harley Quinn. She is fun, she's exciting, and not only that, but she's very beautiful. She looks exactly how I always envisioned Harley Quinn from the comic books and even the animated series. Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, top notch quality casting. Ripped from the comic book, exactly who you want to, just everything that you could possibly imagine from her character in terms of the comic book and even the animated series. Picture perfect, top notch. Jay Courtney as Captain Boomerang, not a huge fan of him. I don't think he's that good of an actor, but he is definitely on point with his performance in this film. There was something about him that was completely magnetic and charismatic, very similar to Will Smith. You don't really see much of Killer Croc, and he's not the focal point of the film, but I just feel he was watered down, and he's not. Killer Croc overall is not something that you could use for a PG-13 film. He has to be rated R given his animalistic, cannibalistic capabilities. You don't really see much of Slipknot you don't see much of him, and what happens is actually kind of hilarious and amusing. Diablo, that character is fun and exciting and unique in this film. You don't really see much of Katana. Enchantress ended up being one of my favorite parts of the film. I just loved how she carried herself. I love how she looked. I love how her powers, how they used her powers. She just looked very, very menacing and intimidating and seductive at the same time. But through it all, I did enjoy Suicide Squad for what it was. It had potential to be amazing. Just unfortunately, it ended up being on the wrong side of the cinematic universe due to the fact of, once again, Marvel ruling everything, and because the overall concept just didn't work. You needed, I believe, the better concept. This was something that a friend of mine stated. The original concept and the better idea would have been the Suicide Squad is put together in order to find and bring in the Joker. It would have worked better if they went that route, because it would have tested whether or not Harley Quinn is committed to the team or if she's committed to the Joker. That would have been better. It would have provided some emotional aspects to it, and it just would have entered into uncharted territory. But that's another story for another time. I am very curious to see exactly how they're going to do the new Suicide Squad that's going to come out, I think in 2022 or 2023. But overall, Suicide Squad 2016, good film, great film in my opinion. Could have been better. Just receives a lot of unnecessary flack that I don't believe is warranted. That is my and once again, I love the action sequences in the film. I love the chemistry between the actors and the actresses. I thought that it just had a very high entertaining value that I believe I could pop in right now and watch and never be bored. That to me is a sign that of a film either being great or having potential, because it's nowhere near as horrible as critics made it out to be. And I sincerely hope that at some point people would actually use critics as a means to not only hold them accountable for their views, but to simply state, okay, you know what? I appreciate your views, but I'm going to go ahead and formulate my own conclusion, because I want everyone to understand that as a critic myself, I don't take my word as gospel. Just check the film out for yourself. I recommend The Suicide Squad. It is completely up to you as to whether or not you want to watch it. However, should you decide to watch it, or if you haven't watched it, that's my recommendation. If you watched it, let me know in the comment section what you thought about it. Provide a like if you want to. If you haven't watched it, I do recommend it. It's fun, it's entertaining, and I don't believe it's anything that you would be bored of. That is my review of The Suicide Squad 2016. I hope you all remain safe, and you'll be hearing from me again, my friends. Take care, and peace out.